Ladies and gentlemen, there's an ancient wisdom in the phrase, work hard in silence, let success make the noise, but that's not just advice, it's a philosophy for life, one rooted in discipline, responsibility, and meaning. And if we unpack it, we can find profound truths that will resonate in every aspect of our lives. Today I want to offer you 4 key principles, 4 beacons that illuminate why working hard in silence is not just practical, but essential for a life of purpose and achievement. Silence is not merely the absence of noise, it is a profound strength, a form of discipline that holds immense power. To work hard in silence means to harness that power, to focus not on recognition or applause, but on the work itself. There is something remarkable about the way silence allows you to center yourself, to confront the challenge at hand without the distractions of external validation. It requires a kind of inner fortitude, a refusal to let the noise of the world dictate your path. And in doing so, it builds a strength that is unshakable. Think about this: the loudest people in the room often seem to be compensating for something. They use noise, whether it's bragging, attention-seeking, or constant validation, as a substitute for real earned confidence. They hope their volume will mask their lack of preparation or depth. But the truth is, real strength doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't demand recognition because it is secure in its own foundation. That's what silence teaches you. It teaches you to rely not on outward displays, but on your own capabilities. When you work in silence, you are choosing a path of substance over spectacle. It's tempting, of course, to seek immediate praise for the things you do. After all, who doesn't want to feel appreciated? But the problem is that this kind of validation is fleeting. It doesn't sustain you in the long run. What does sustain you is the knowledge that you've done the hard work, that you've put in the effort, and that you've earned whatever results come your way. Silence becomes a shield, protecting you from the shallow and transient need for approval. Silence also allows you to focus deeply. In a world that constantly pulls at your attention, this is no small feat. There's a clarity that comes from working in silence, a clarity that sharpens your thoughts, strengthens your resolve, and enables you to operate at your highest level. When you stop worrying about who is watching or what they're thinking, you free yourself to concentrate fully on what matters, the work itself. And when you're fully immersed in the task, you discover a kind of flow that is both exhilarating and deeply fulfilling. This focus brings with it a certain humility. Working hard in silence reminds you that progress is often slow and unglamorous. There's no instant gratification, no grand applause for showing up day after day. But that's precisely why it's so transformative. You learn to embrace the grind, to find meaning in the process rather than in the result. And as you do, you begin to realize that silence is not a void, it's a space where growth happens. Imagine an artist working late into the night, brush in hand, completely absorbed in their craft. There's no audience, no applause, just the quiet rhythm of creation. That's the essence of working in silence. It's about finding joy and purpose in the act of doing, without the need for anyone else to validate your effort. And when the masterpiece is finally complete, it speaks for itself. That's the power of silence. It allows your work to become the loudest voice in the room. But working in silence doesn't just benefit you, it also influences how others perceive you. When you operate quietly, focused on your goals, you cultivate a sense of mystery and respect. People begin to notice your results, not your proclamations. And those results carry far more weight because they are undeniable. They're not built on words or promises, they're built on action. There's a certain dignity in that, a quiet confidence that speaks volumes without ever saying a word. Of course, this isn't easy. It takes restraint to resist the urge to broadcast your intentions or seek immediate gratification. It requires patience, discipline, and a willingness to delay recognition. But the rewards are worth it. The strength you build in silence is enduring. It's not dependent on the whims of others or the fleeting nature of applause. It's rooted in something much deeper, your own integrity and effort. And so working hard in silence is not just about avoiding distractions, it's about cultivating a mindset of resilience and self-reliance. It's about trusting the process, knowing that true achievement doesn't need to shout to be noticed. It's about building a foundation so solid that no amount of criticism or competition can shake it. The world may be noisy, but your success doesn't have to be. When you embrace the power of silence, you allow your work to speak for itself. And in the end, isn't that what really matters? That what you've built, what you've created, and what you've achieved are so substantial that they don't need a single word of explanation. That's the strength of silence. That's the strength of working hard with focus, discipline, and purpose. When you work hard in silence, something profound happens. Your focus shifts away from chasing external rewards and moves instead toward the process itself. And this shift, this deliberate immersion in the work rather than the outcome, is where transformation takes place. Far too often we are conditioned to measure success by what we can show to the world: trophies, titles, applause. But those things, as gratifying as they might be, are fleeting. They come and go, leaving us in search of the next moment of recognition. What stays with us, what defines us, is the journey we take and the person we become along the way. The process is brutally honest. It doesn't care about your potential, your intentions, or your promises. It only responds to what you give to it. And in that honesty lies its power. The process is where you face your limits, where your weaknesses are exposed, and where you learn just how far you are willing to go. There is no shortcut through it, no way to cheat it. You must confront it fully and give yourself to it completely. This is where real growth occurs, not in the celebration of success, but in the quiet, often unseen moments of struggle and perseverance. Think about a sculptor working with a block of marble. At the start, the unshaped stone holds little promise. There is no applause, no recognition for the hours of work ahead. But the sculptor doesn't concern themselves with that. They focus on the process, chipping away, refining, smoothing, bit by bit. Each strike of the chisel, each adjustment of the vision brings them closer to revealing something extraordinary. The beauty of the finished sculpture lies not just in what it is, but in what it represents: a culmination of countless small, deliberate acts of labor and focus. When you immerse yourself in the process, you come to appreciate the small victories, the incremental progress that often goes unnoticed by others. Each step, no matter how small, carries significance because it moves you forward. This shift in perspective changes everything. Instead of seeing the journey as a series of obstacles to overcome, you begin to see it as a series of opportunities to grow. Each challenge becomes a chance to refine your skills, to deepen your understanding, and to strengthen your character. This is not easy. The process often feels thankless. There are no guarantees that your efforts will yield the results you desire. But that uncertainty is precisely what makes the process so transformative. It forces you to confront your motivations. Are you doing the work because you love it? Because it challenges you? Because it gives your life meaning? Or are you doing it for the applause? When you let go of the need for immediate validation, you begin to find joy in the act of doing itself. Immersing yourself in the process also demands patience. Progress is often slow, and the results may not be visible for a long time. But this slow, deliberate pace is what allows you to build something meaningful. There's a reason why enduring success takes time. The process ensures that what you create is not only valuable but also built on a foundation of effort, resilience, and persistence. Quick wins might feel good in the moment, but they rarely lead to lasting fulfillment. What's remarkable about this focus on the process is how it changes your relationship with failure. When you are solely outcome-driven, failure can feel devastating, a sign that you're not good enough or that your efforts were wasted. But when you embrace the process, failure becomes something entirely different. It becomes feedback, a natural part of learning and growth. Each misstep teaches you something valuable, helping you to refine your approach and move forward with greater clarity. Failure, when viewed through the lens of the process, is not an end but a necessary step on the path to mastery. Over time, this process shapes you in ways that go far beyond the work itself. It builds discipline, resilience, and a deep sense of self-reliance. You begin to trust in your ability to handle challenges, to adapt, and to keep moving forward even when the path is uncertain. This transformation is not something that happens overnight. It is the result of showing up day after day, committing yourself fully to the work, and finding meaning in the effort rather than the outcome. There's a kind of quiet satisfaction that comes from knowing you've given your best to the process. It's a satisfaction that doesn't depend on recognition or applause, because it comes from within. When you focus on the process, you are not just working toward a goal, you are building a version of yourself that is capable of achieving that goal. And that version of yourself, shaped by the work and the journey, is ultimately what matters most. The process is where life happens. It's where you discover who you are, what you're capable of, and what truly matters to you. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey and the transformation that occurs along the way. By embracing the process, you free yourself from the pressure of outcomes and allow yourself to fully experience the growth, learning, and fulfillment that come from meaningful work. In today's world, we are surrounded by endless opportunities to seek validation. Social media, instant feedback, and the culture of constant comparison make it easier than ever to look for approval in everything we do. Yet this endless craving for validation is one of the most significant traps we can fall. It's seductive, of course, to have others recognize your efforts or applaud your achievements. But relying on that applause as a source of fulfillment is like chasing a mirage. It never truly satisfies, and it leaves you vulnerable to the opinions and judgments of others. True fulfillment comes from within, not from the fleeting approval of those around you. The problem with seeking validation is that it can distort your priorities. When your focus is on gaining approval, your efforts are no longer directed toward the work itself, but toward crafting an image. You start to prioritize what looks good over what is good, what is impressive over what is meaningful. In doing so, you lose sight of your deeper purpose. Your energy becomes scattered, spent on appearances rather than on substance. This is a dangerous shift because it undermines the authenticity of your work and ultimately leaves you feeling empty, even if you achieve the recognition you were chasing. Consider this: if your motivation to work hard stems from a desire to be seen, what happens when no one is watching? What happens when the applause fades, or worse, when criticism arises? When your self-worth is tied to external validation, it becomes fragile, subject to the whims of others. A single negative comment or a lack of acknowledgement can feel devastating because your sense of value isn't rooted in your own efforts, it's dependent on how others perceive you. This is why chasing validation is such a precarious path. It gives the power over your happiness to others, leaving you at their mercy. Working hard in silence allows you to escape this trap. It gives you the space to focus entirely on your goals and the integrity of your efforts, free from the distractions of external opinions. It shifts the source of your satisfaction from external praise to the internal knowledge that you are doing the work that matters. This internal focus is liberating because it puts the power back in your hands. When you stop seeking validation, you begin to trust in your ability to navigate challenges, to grow from your struggles, and to stay committed to your purpose, regardless of whether anyone else notices or approves. Another critical aspect of avoiding the validation trap is understanding the difference between recognition and value. Recognition is what others see. It's external, often shallow and fleeting. Value, on the other hand, is intrinsic. It comes from the quality of your work, the effort you put in, and the meaning you derive from it. Value isn't something that needs to be broadcast. It exists whether or not others acknowledge it. When you focus on creating value rather than chasing recognition, your work becomes more authentic, more impactful, and ultimately more fulfilling. The need for validation can also limit your potential. When you prioritize pleasing others, you may hold back from taking risks, from pursuing unconventional ideas, or from stepping outside your comfort zone. Why? Because risk and originality often invite criticism or skepticism before they invite applause. The greatest achievements in history were often met with doubt or resistance at first. If the innovators behind those achievements had prioritized validation over their vision, they might never have succeeded. Working in silence allows you to take risks without fear, to experiment and grow without needing immediate approval. This isn't to say that validation or recognition is inherently bad. It's natural to want your efforts to be appreciated. The key, however, is not to depend on it. When recognition comes as a byproduct of your hard work, it's rewarding. But when it becomes the goal, it loses its meaning. True success lies in being so focused on your work, so committed to your purpose, that recognition becomes secondary, a pleasant surprise rather than the driving force behind your actions. Think about the strength that comes from knowing you don't need anyone else's approval to continue on your path. It's a strength that cannot be taken away, no matter what others say or think. This is the power of working in silence. It teaches you to rely on your own judgment, to find fulfillment in the process rather than in the applause. It gives you the confidence to stand firm in your convictions, even when the world doubts you. When you let go of the need for validation, you free yourself to create work that is truly meaningful. You focus on depth rather than surface, substance rather than spectacle. And in doing so, you build something that lasts. The irony is that this kind of quiet, authentic effort often earns the most respect in the end. People are drawn to those who are secure in themselves, who work not for attention but for the love of the craft. Your silence becomes a statement, not of weakness but of strength, a sign that you are focused on what truly matters. In the end, the greatest validation comes not from the applause of others but from the quiet confidence that you've stayed true to your purpose. It comes from the satisfaction of knowing that your work has integrity, that it reflects your best effort, and that it stands on its own, regardless of what others think. When you work hard in silence, you reclaim your power. You become unshakable, unstoppable, and deeply fulfilled, not because the world approves of you, but because you approve of yourself. Success is best revealed, not announced. This principle, though simple on the surface, carries profound wisdom. It is rooted in the understanding that true accomplishment does not need to be paraded or shouted to the world. It is self-evident. When you focus your energy on the work, rather than on proclaiming your intentions, you allow your results to speak for themselves, and in doing so, you earn a respect that is authentic and enduring. The quiet confidence of revealed success carries far more weight than the loud proclamations of unfinished plans. Announcing your goals or boasting about what you intend to achieve can often feel satisfying in the moment. It gives you a false sense of progress, as though simply speaking your ambitions makes them real. But words alone do not move the needle. What moves you closer to your goals is consistent effort and disciplined action. When you talk too much about what you're going to do, you risk draining the energy you need to actually accomplish it. It's like prematurely releasing steam from a pressure cooker. It diminishes the force that drives you forward. Silence, on the other hand, keeps that energy contained, focused, and powerful. Success revealed through action, rather than words, also carries a unique gravity. It commands attention without demanding it. People notice outcomes, not declarations. When you let your work speak for itself, you draw others in through the sheer substance of what you've created. It's not about impressing others with your promises, it's about showing them what you've built. There's an undeniable authenticity in results that require no explanation. They stand on their own merit, without the need for justification or embellishment. When you announce your plans prematurely, you also open yourself up to unnecessary scrutiny and criticism. People will question your intentions, doubt your capabilities, or even try to undermine your efforts. This is not to say that criticism is inherently bad. It can be valuable, but there is a time and place for it. Revealing your plans too early invites noise and distractions that can sap your focus and derail your progress. By keeping your work quiet until it is ready to stand on its own, you shield yourself from this noise. You create a space where you can work freely without the weight of external opinions. Moreover, when you let success speak for itself, you inspire others in a way that words cannot. There's something deeply impactful about seeing someone quietly achieve greatness. It shows discipline, integrity, and a relentless focus on the work rather than the recognition. It reminds people that real achievement isn't about grand gestures or public declarations. It's about the consistent, often unseen effort that happens behind the scenes. Success that is revealed, not announced, becomes a testament to what is possible through dedication and perseverance. There's also a profound humility in this approach. When you allow your results to do the talking, you acknowledge that the work itself is more important than the accolades. This humility is often what separates true leaders and innovators from those who are merely seeking attention. It's not about seeking the spotlight, it's about contributing something meaningful. And when your work does draw attention, it's not because you demanded it, but because it earned it. That kind of recognition is far more valuable and enduring than anything you could achieve through self-promotion. Patience plays a crucial role in this philosophy. Waiting until your success is ready to be revealed requires a deep trust in the process. It means resisting the temptation to seek validation along the way and instead staying focused on the task at hand. This patience allows you to refine your work, to ensure that what you present to the world is not just good but excellent. It's the difference between rushing to meet external expectations and taking the time to create something truly exceptional. Success that is revealed also has a way of silencing doubt and criticism. When your results are undeniable, there's little room for debate. You don't have to argue your worth or defend your decisions. The proof is in the outcome. This is why revealed success carries such weight. It is grounded in reality, not in perception or opinion. It doesn't rely on others to validate it because it validates itself. Finally, this approach allows you to maintain control of your narrative. When you focus on the work rather than on announcing your plans, you remain in charge of how and when your success is shared with the world. You're not rushing to meet expectations or managing the pressure of public declarations. Instead, you're working on your own terms, building something that is authentic and aligned with your vision. Success, when revealed rather than announced, is powerful because it is earned. It speaks to the strength of your character, the depth of your commitment, and the integrity of your work. It doesn't shout, it doesn't need to. It simply exists, undeniable and inspiring. And in the end, isn't that the kind of success that truly matters? The kind that speaks for itself, not because you told the world it would, but because you showed them it did. In the end, the essence of working hard in silence is not just about achieving success, it's about transforming yourself in the process. It's about the quiet discipline of putting in the effort when no one is watching, the humility of valuing the work over the recognition, the focus on substance rather than spectacle, and the confidence to let your results speak for themselves. These principles build not only achievement but also character, a foundation that cannot be shaken by external opinions or fleeting applause. When you choose to immerse yourself in the work, to find fulfillment in the process rather than in validation, you cultivate a strength that is unyielding. You free yourself from the need to impress others, instead letting the quiet power of your actions do the talking. In doing so, you create a success that is not only meaningful but also enduring, a success that inspires without demanding attention and commands respect without ever needing to ask for it. So as you move forward, remember this: greatness does not need to shout. It grows in the stillness of discipline, flourishes in the absence of distractions, and reveals itself with undeniable clarity when the time is right. Focus on the work, trust the process, and let your success become the voice that speaks volumes. In silence, you build strength and patience, you build resilience, and in the quiet power of your effort, you create something truly extraordinary.